This is your host, Danny, and this is Expressions from English Plus Podcast. Today's expression is fact of life. What does that mean? Fact of life. Have you ever heard of that? When we say this is a fact of life, what does that mean? You say that something which is not pleasant is a fact of life when there is nothing you can do to change it, so you must accept it. For example, stress is a fact of life from time to time for all of us. You cannot avoid it completely. It's going to happen to you in your life. The most important thing is how to deal with stress. But it is not something that you can avoid completely. So it is a fact of life. Is it pleasant? Not at all. But it is a fact of life. You have to learn how to accept it, how to deal with it. To lose people you love. This is a fact of life. We cannot avoid losing people we love. Of course, it is unpleasant. We don't want to lose anybody we love. But that's a fact of life. We have to face that. We have to accept it. We have to learn how to deal with it. So that is a fact of life. This is how we use the expression. But by the way, there is something else. We use fact of life in plural to mean something that is a little bit different. And that is when we say the facts of life. If you tell a child about the facts of life, you tell him or her about sexual intercourse and how babies are born. For example, there comes a time when children need to know more than the basic facts of life. So when you use it in plural like this, it means something else. That is when you tell children about how babies are born, sexual intercourse, and there is sometimes, especially for parents, there is sometimes a certain age that you have to tell your children about the facts of life. But remember, fact of life is different, and fact of life is used very commonly with things we don't like, but we have to accept and deal with because they happen anyway. We cannot avoid them completely. That is our expression for today. Another day, another expression from English Plus Podcast. This is your host, Danny. Thank you very much for listening. I will see you next time.